Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about the stock market and day trading and swing trading as well. So we're going to cover two topics today. We're getting back on the stocks. And I always tell you that when I was starting up in the stock market, I did a lot of day trading actually, especially with Ford Motor stock. And it really does get real simple when you trade the same stocks over and over and over. When you're only looking at four or five stocks and you're in college and you got all the time in the world to just trade the same stocks. You can listen, you can read, you can view the news, you can look at every single article. I knew more about Ford Motors than some of the people who worked for the company. I mean, let's be honest, when you're really into stocks, when you're really interested in the market, you tend to know more than what most people will ever know who actually work for some of these companies. And so, with that much insight, I was able to deduce what was best for me in the long term and the short term. When there was bad news on the horizon that I believe would not impact the company long term, I would invest. When it was down, it would go back up in a matter of days, in a matter of hours, and I was able to capitalize on that. And because of that, I believe that I could even go into options trading, which we're not covering today. But in the process, Robinhood had these caps where you can only day trade three times within, I believe, a 3 or 5 day span. And so a lot of the times I was capped in the moves that I can make and the things that I can do. And I was actually losing money, not in the fact that I was losing actual money, but I was losing the ability to make more money due to those caps. And the more money you make, the more money you can make, right? The more money you can achieve. A 10% gain on $1 is only 10 cents, but a 10% gain on $100 is $10. So, I mean, the more you can get those 10% gains on is life changing. 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. And if the money doesn't affect you, if you have the emotional intelligence to support that type of risk, then you can make a lot of money. But where a lot of people fail is actually because of their emotions. They don't have the emotions to sustain day trading. They don't have the emotions to sustain swing trading, and they definitely don't have the emotions to sustain options trading. A lot of the times, a lot of the people that I see that invest in the stock market are not true investors. They're actually gamblers. They're people who don't know what they're investing in, and then they try to make money in so many ways. They might invest in 100 companies and know nothing about it, but they're cheap, and so they invest in it. That's number one. That's the one that you see the most. Or they will hear some news that's going to the moon, and they got the fear of missing out written all over their face, and so they invest in that. Those are the optimistic gamblers. And then you have those who are just scared of the market, and so they don't invest whatsoever. They're so scared, they're so frightened that they might lose money, so they never invest. And those are the ones who lose the most because they've learned nothing about the stock market. They've learned nothing about how to make money. They've learned nothing about how to invest or even how to lose. They've learned nothing about what strategies to implement and what strategies to stay away from. They've learned absolutely nothing. And so they've taken the most risk because they've made zero gains throughout the entirety of their life. And those are the worst investors, the non investors. And those are the people who will spend that $200 on a wig or on nails or on some sneakers because they can see it right there, right in their face. A tangible item that is not an asset, a liability, something that loses value as soon as you put it on your feet is called used. But it's okay because it's better than losing $200 in the stock market. At least you have something that you can say you purchased on your feet, that you worked hard for on your feet. And I completely understand that. But the value in gaining knowledge, the value in understanding would have made you those sneakers times 10 in a matter of years. And the more money you make as you got older, the more money you would have continued to reap in your later years. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars calling your name for the small mistakes that you make now for $1,000 to $10,000 or even $20,000. Some people have even made $1 million mistakes. But those are the same people who bounce back even faster and make 10, 20, $30 million within their lifetime. When the average person is only making $4 million in their entire life, there are people who are doubling someone's whole lifespan worth just investing in the stock market. And so, I encourage you to understand what strategies work for you. Understand what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Understand what most people do that actually make money in the stock market and what most people do that don't make money in the stock market. There are simple things that you can invest in that will guarantee that you don't lose money over a decade, like the S&P 500, like VOO, the Vanguard Fund. If you simply invested in that alone, over a 10-year period, you're guaranteed to be making about a 10% return year over year. Instead, people want to get fancy. Instead, people want to look for alternative options because it's so boring, because it's not cute enough for them. And because of that, they'll learn lessons. Sometimes good lessons, sometimes bad lessons. I've learned my lessons, and so I don't go back to it. I had no one to teach me what stocks was. I had to learn and relearn and teach myself every single day, from $10 stocks to $100 stocks, viewing every single company, listening to Warren Buffett, listening to Robert Kiyosaki, listening to Graham Stephan, listening to Minority Mindset, listening to whoever I can get my hands on to understand and digest the stock market. I did it all. I did the research. I did the investments. I put the time in, time and time again. When I left college, when I had graduated college, I had did an options trade where I had lost about $4,000. And I'm proud to say now that I've already gained that money back in the stock market, being a long-term investor. It took a lot longer than losing it. Best believe that. It took me a lot longer to gain it back than how I lost it. And I will always think about that money. But in order for me to be where I am today, in order for me to invest the way I do and make the money that I make, I had to make those decisions, because I would have hated to be making $100,000 investments and then be options trading today. That would have been the worst. That would have been a very, very costly mistake. And yes, you can make your entire salary options trading in a day. Your entire salary for the whole year you can make in a day. But you can also lose a fortune in a day. Don't be a gambler. Be someone who is willing to work a little harder for a little longer in order to get guaranteed rates of return. And nothing is a real guarantee in the stock market, but we want to minimize our risk again and do what we can to maximize our growth potential. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and Rumble, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.